Today we have a situation where our people operate in an international competitive situation without the necessary support from the state. Government has got no clear plan on how to support the farming community in South Africa. They are concentrating in mining sector because there is individual benefits for the politically connected individuals, but neglect the agriculture because the model proposed in agriculture is not that of individual benefits but that of farm workers partnering with their bosses to continue production. And because they don't stand to benefit, they do not pay the necessary attention or put more resources to finance those types of a transaction. But the EFF speaks about something that many of you are very scared of, which is the expropriation of land without compensation. Because the EFF believes that we need the most effective mechanism to redistribute the land into the hands of all South Africans. And what do we mean by that? We mean that government must be the custodian of the land. And the land that is abandoned and is idling should be expropriated to the benefit of all. And as long as that land is expropriated for public purpose and public interest, then it must be given a go-ahead. So if there is a farm which is productive, and we know that that land is used for agricultural purpose, we don't have to interfere with the production in that piece of land. We ought to protect it. And government must give us money, we the farmers. Government must sponsor us because once we have protected agriculture and we are financing it, not only are we going to create jobs, but we are also going to create food security. Because food will never go out of fashion. People are going to eat forever. So there must never be a point where there is shortage of food. We need to guarantee our people of food at all times. So we must ensure that we provide our people food and through protecting of the local industry. The established Afrikaner farmers, you owe it to the people who have been oppressed for the past 3 years to mentor them. If you say we are going to take land and this land will not be used for anything, you are to be blamed yourselves. Because when a government buys a farm for millions of rands and give it to a black community, and you know that there might be a possibility of a lack of skills amongst those community members, and you sit back and later on come to blame that this is another black failure, you have failed yourself. Because if you love this country, you must love your people. We belong, all of us, to this country, and all of us have got an obligation to contribute. Once a government hand over a farm to a community, Afrikaner white farmers, well experienced, must immediately move closer to that community, mentor it, make sure the right things are done, volunteer your services. Because if these people are going to swim in a pool of poverty for a very long time, one day they will turn against you. You owe it to them and say to them, I'm part of this community. I'm volunteering my service. I'm going to make sure that this land is used productively and this land is going to feed the children of this community. We must actually stop this thing that once they buy a farm from you, you take millions, and come from the other side and then rent the same farm they just bought from you. You must be ashamed. You must say, I'm not going to rent this farm, I've sold it, I will stay here for the next 2 to 3 years, mentoring and transferring skills to these people. At least I owe it to them. So that's how practical we can start embracing each other. That's how practical you too can be guaranteed that your stay in South Africa is more than welcome, and no one is going to wake up in the morning and chase you out. The reason why all of you, every time you see Malema and ask him, hey, are we welcomed here? Hey, what's happened? It's because you know your sins. If you know you have nothing to fear, why do you go around asking people, are you welcomed here? I'm saying if you do your job and anyone comes to say all whites to the sea, the first black communities are going to be the ones to stand up in your defense and say, not this one. This is our Mulungu, this one. Once you hear a black community beginning to call you like that, you must know that they've incorporated you into their community. They no longer see you as white, they see you as one of their own. Why do you want to wait for government to pass a policy that forces you to have your workers as your partners? Do it already. You are going around looking for individual BEE partners. You don't have a problem giving shares to an individual because of his political connection, but you have a problem giving shares to this group of people who have made you who you are. Help them establish a trust, register them as beneficiaries, register trustees, ensure that those trusts take their children to school and all those type of things, and even teaches them that on top of your salaries, what comes is going to be what we call dividends. You are likely, each one of you, to get 5,000 extra in the form of dividends at the end of financial year. And somebody comes and tells them to go on a strike. They will tell that person, hey, how do I strike against myself? This is my property. When I go on strike, that extra 5,000 that comes at the end of financial year, it won't be here. Get your workers to be your partners. Leave politicians to be, stop involving politicians in your business. When you think of BEE, you first think of who's the mayor, who's the councillor here, who's the politically connected person here. And you use that as a criteria, and you neglect the most needy people. If there are people who are in need of those shares, are your workers. Some of them have worked not only for you, for your father, for your grandfather, and the least you can do is to give them shares. No criminal will enter that farm. They will take it upon themselves to protect the farmers. There will never be a complaint of killing of farmers anywhere else, because they will take it upon themselves to protect one of their own. So all of us, those who stand to lose, we ought to think, what contribution can I make to change the lives of ordinary people? You can do so much, I agree. The state must protect you. The state must make sure you continue to produce so that you can take care of others. That's an EFF model. The EFF says everybody involved in agriculture will be given tractors, the seeds, and all the necessary equipment to allow production to continue. Because we believe that agriculture has got a bigger role to play in South Africa. You are on your own. As things are now, those of you who are surviving, you are surviving on your own without the state support. And we must thank you for being courageous and continue to feed us even under these difficult conditions without the state support. You have demonstrated that you are entrepreneurs. you've got the necessary skill. Transfer that skill so we can double production in the agriculture, and we reduce poverty, create employment, and create some opportunities for the previously disadvantaged people of South Africa. Thank you.